Hello everyone, this is Bodhi Academy and I am Devshika. So in today's video we are going to learn about the remaining part of the chapter Nutrition in Plants of Standard 7 of Science. Okay, so let us start with the chapter. So in first part we have seen that what is nutrition and the mode of nutrition that the plants obtain. Okay, so plant normally prepare their own food, and the process of that preparation of food, that is called as photosynthesis, which is mainly taking place in the leaves part of the tree. Correct. Yeah, so now we'll see the further part of that particular lesson. Okay, so the very first topic in today's video that we are going to cover, that is how water and minerals are absorbed by the plants. Okay, okay, let's start. So how water and minerals are absorbed by the plants? We know that the raw material that is required for photosynthesis. So the raw material which is required, that is carbon dioxide, water and mineral. Correct. So, and where the photosynthesis takes place, that is in the leaves. So we need to supply all this raw material to the leaves of the plant. Then after that only the plant can synthesize their own food in the form of carbohydrate. Okay, let us see now how this raw material is being transported to the leaves. Okay, so let's see over here how water and mineral are absorbed by the plant. That is the question. So we have to learn water and minerals. These are the what they are. These are the raw material. Correct. These are the raw material. So okay. So um, one more raw material is there, right, along with mineral, and that is carbon dioxide. Okay, so how carbon dioxide is absorbed by the plants? Where carbon dioxide is present? Carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere, or you can say it is present in the air. Correct. So how it is absorbed? See, this is the leaf. Okay, suppose this is a leaf of a particular plant. Okay, then on this leaf, there are small pores which are present. Okay, there are small, very few, very much, small pores which are present on the surface of the leaves. So this carbon dioxide gas is directly absorbed through these pores on the leaves. Okay, these pores, these pores, it looks like this, and there are surrounding cells which are around that particular pore. Okay, these are the surrounding cells which are there, and they are called as what? They are called as guard cell. Okay, the cells which surround this particular pore, that is called as the guard cell. Okay, we'll see in the textbook diagram. Okay, okay. See, this is the stomata which is called as. This is the pore, that is the opening, and through this, this opening, the carbon dioxide is being absorbed by the leaves, and these are the cells which surround that particular pore, which is called as the guard cells. Okay, and the entire structure, that pore through which the carbon dioxide is absorbed, that is called as the stomata. Okay, which are present on the surface of the leaves. Understood? They are called as the stomata. So how carbon dioxide is being absorbed? Through a small pores which are present on the surface of the leaves, that is called as the stomata. Then the second thing, how water and minerals are being transported. How water is being transported at your house? Through pipeline. Correct. So similarly, a pipeline it looks like a pipeline structure. Okay, it resembles a little like a pipeline structure in the this plant. There is also a pipeline like things through which the water and minerals are being transported, and these pipelines, the structure through which the water and minerals they are transported, that is called as the vessels. What they are called as vessels through which water and minerals are transported from roots to the leaves. Okay, detailed structure about these vessels, we will study later in chapter 7, that is transport, chemical, that is mineral transport in plants. Okay, in that chapter we will learn. As of now, you just remember that the water and minerals they are being transported from roots to the leaves through vessels. Okay, how carbon dioxide is absorbed through a structure that is stomata. These are the small pores which are present on the surface of the leaves. Okay, so clear how it is absorbed, understood. Then the second thing that we are going to learn, that is what is so special about the leaves, that they can synthesize food but other parts of the plant cannot. Okay, what is the a special thing which is there in the leaves only? Why not other plants, other part of the plants, like for example the branch or the root or the stem? Why it cannot produce the food, or why it cannot synthesize the food? Okay, we have to use the word, don't use the word produced, say instead of produce, synthesize. Okay, synthesize is the preparation, formation. So why only leaves synthesize the food and not any other part? Because there is something which is special about the leaves in plants. You all have observed the color of the leaf, right? How leaf of the leaf of the plant, how it looks, the color, that is, what is the color? Green, correct? Whereas the stem and other branches, they look not exactly, they look like how the leaf looks, correct? It looks like pale brown or black color of the other parts, but the leaves are always green in color. There is a reason why they are always green in color, because they contain one pigment. Okay, leaves contain a pigment which is called as chlorophyll. What that pigment is called as chlorophyll, and because of that they are green in color. Okay, because of that chlorophyll pigment they are green in color, which is not present in any other part, but they are also except leaves. Okay, they are only present in the leaves. So because of that, this chlorophyll, what it does, this chlorophyll pigment that helps in absorbing sunlight energy from the sun. So chlorophyll, what they do, the function of the chlorophyll is they absorb the sunlight energy from the sun. Okay, that is why, and which is very necessary in synthesizing the food in the plants. Okay, so the process of synthesizing of food in plant, that is called as photosynthesis, correct? And the sunlight plays a vital role in the photosynthesis process. This, okay. So chlorophyll is the pigment which is responsible for light absorption, and that is why the photosynthesis takes place only in leaf of the plant and not anywhere else. Okay, now you all have understood why only leaf can synthesize food. That is because of the pigment, that is chlorophyll. Okay, so how this occur, we'll see here. Okay, so how this occurs, the photosynthesis in the leaf. The leaf cell, there are cells. Okay, So now, what is cells? What are cells? You all have seen the construction of a building, how the building is being constructed. They keep bricks like this, right? One after another. And like how the workers construct the building. You all have seen, right? This you know. Okay, so likewise, there are a building blocks, okay, which are called as cells in animals, in plants. The animals or plants, they are made up of a single, a basic, these cells. When many cells come together, a plant or animal is made. Okay, so see here. Yes. Okay. Okay. See here. This is a cell. Okay. This is a cell. These are the cells. Okay. Okay, the cells, they are surrounded by a thin boundary, and that particular thin boundary, that is called as the cell membrane. Okay, and inside the cell membrane there is a gelatinous structure, that is called as the cytoplasm, and inside the cell there is one this brown dot, which can you cell, which you all can see here, right? This brown dot, that is called as the nucleus. Okay, and the jelly like structure, that is the cytoplasm, and the cell surrounded by a particular membrane, that membrane is called as the cell membrane. Understood? Okay, these are the cells. So these cells in the leaf, that contains, what they contain a chlorophyll. Okay, the cells of the leaf, they contain particular thing which is called as chlorophyll. Okay, what does this cells do? They absorb sunlight from sun. Okay, they absorb sunlight from the sun, and with the help of carbon dioxide and water, they prepare, in the presence of sunlight and this chlorophyll, they synthesize a food which is called as carbohydrate, and this is the main product, and they also produce oxygen. Remember, okay, the cells that contain chlorophyll containing cells, they absorb sunlight from the sun, that they already contain chlorophyll because the chlorophyll is present in the leaves, so that the cells of the leaf cells consist of this chlorophyll. With the help of carbon dioxide and water, in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, the cells of the leaf produces a synthesized carbohydrate and a oxygen. Understood? Okay, now we'll go further. Life on earth without oxygen, what will happen if there is no oxygen? So along with the synthesizing of food, plant also, what they do, plant also synthesize, you can say synthesize oxygen, correct? They synthesize the carbohydrate for themselves, and this also synthesize oxygen, which is taken by us. We breathe oxygen, right? And we give out carbon dioxide. So from where we get this oxygen? We get this oxygen through this photosynthesis process by plants. Plants gives us this oxygen. What will happen if there is no photosynthesis? If there is no photosynthesis, that means the plant will not produce, that will not synthesize any food. So what will happen if plant don't synthesize any food? Then the plants will get die. If plants get die, then how they will produce this oxygen? We won't get any oxygen if there is no photosynthesis, correct? So what will happen? We all living organisms will die because we all are dependent on plants for the oxygen. Okay, so understood? Yes. Now the next is synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrates. So what does carbohydrate consist of? Carbohydrate is prepared through photosynthesis process. Understood? That we have learned. What carbohydrate consists of? Carbohydrate consists of hydrogen, carbon and oxygen, correct? This all carbohydrate consist: hydrogen, carbon and oxygen. Okay, so synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrate, these carbohydrates, they are used as a component to produce other things, that is fats, proteins, minerals. Okay, now let's see proteins. Proteins is made up of nitrogenous compound. Okay, proteins, how they are made up of nitrogenous compound. Now these require nitrogen. So from where the plants will get nitrogen? We know that in the air, how much? 78% of nitrogen is there. 78% nitrogen is there, but plants cannot take this nitrogen directly, as directly how plants used to take carbon dioxide. They absorb carbon dioxide directly, but in case of nitrogen they cannot do. You know why? Because this nitrogen have to be present in the soluble form so that they can absorb it. Understood? So here we have to convert the nitrogen from the air into soluble form, and after that the plants can take it. Or else we are adding, you must have seen that farmers add manure to the soil, correct? We add NPK fertilizer, then phosphate fertilizer. Okay, that contains nitrogen, phosphorus already, that have been particular fertilizer that consists. Okay, when we apply it to our fields or to the crops, the plants that directly absorb it. Okay, that is already present in the soluble form, but from the air the plants cannot take it directly. Understood? Okay, so now we'll see about other modes of nutrition. So there are other modes. Okay, we have till now we have seen, that is heterotrophic and autotrophic. Autotrophic is plant that they produce their food by themselves, and heterotrophic is taking food from others, correct? That who does that? That is done by animals and plants. Okay, so there is other mode of nutrients also, heterotrophic plants. Okay, like now we have seen that what plants prepare their own food, correct? But there is something which is called as heterotrophic plants. Okay, what is that? We'll see. There are some plants, there is a called exception. Okay, this is called as exception. Rarely you will find this. There are some plants which do not produce their own food. They depend on some others for their survival, for their nutrient uptake. Okay, so these plants, they are called as heterotrophic plants. Like how we do, we know, human beings, animals, we take food from others. So likewise these plants also, they do not produce, they do not have photosynthesis. Okay, they do not have photosynthesis. So what they do, they take nutrients from others. So that's why they are called as heterotrophic plants. Example is cuscuta. Okay, You all must have seen this somewhere. Okay, wait, I'll show you a picture. Okay. See this yellow thing that can you all see here, which is climbing on the tree. They are called as kaskuta, and they are also called as amarbel. Okay. Okay. Now we'll see. Okay, this kaskuta, what they do, they climb on any tree, and uh, they will what they do, they will take all the nutrients from the plant. That's why they are also called as parasitic. Why they are called as parasitic? Because what they do, parasitic means they depend on another plant for their nutrients uptake, and they climb on the any tree, whichever tree they found, they climb on that, and they depend on them for nutrition. They will suck all the nutrition from that particular plant. Okay. So the plant on which they climb, they are called as the plant on which they climb, called as host. Okay. So this kaskuta, when they climb on any plant, that particular plant is called as host, and this plant are called as parasitic. They are parasitic to this host. Okay, understood what is heterotrophic plants. Then there is something which is called as insectivorous plants. So you all have seen any time plant that eating animal? No, right? This is very amazing, correct? So plants eating insects, animals. So these type of plants, they are called as insectivorous. I'll show you all one example, okay, which is there in your NCERT textbook. See, this is called as a pitcher plant. This plant likes to eat insects. Okay, so this is the apex of this. Looks like a jar, jar or pitcher, you can see. That's why they are called as pitcher plants. Okay, it looks like a chair. Okay, so this is the apex of the lid, apex of the leaf, that is modified, and that forms the lid. Okay, and it in this, they contains hairs, some of the hairs. Okay, so what happens whenever insect enters into that particular plant, the lid automatically gets closed. Okay, and what happens to that insect? It gets trapped inside within those hairs. Okay, it cannot come out once it went inside. Okay, it gets closed, and later on some digestive enzymes will be secreted by this particular pitcher plant, and the enzyme will get and the insect that have been trapped in that will get digest, and all the nutrients will get absorbed by this particular plant. Understood? So this type of plants, they are called as insectivorous. Then there is called as saprophytes, which are saprophytes. Okay, so saprophytes, you all have seen mushrooms that we eat at home, correct? Packed in packets, or in the rainy season you all must have seen some umbrella like structure which comes on roots and woods in the rainy season on the roadside, along the roadside and everywhere. Okay, those are those are called as fungi. Okay, anytime you all have seen a piece of bread which is left at home and you all forgot to eat or you all forgot to throw it out. Okay, so there is something appears after 2 to 3 days. If not, no, then go at home you can perform this. Take a piece of bread, okay, keep it in a one plate, okay, over a night for 1 day or 2 day, and spread little water on it, spring little water, okay, and keep like that. You will see, no, after 2 days there will be a powdery thing that will form on it, black powdery. Okay, what is that? That is called as fungi. Now you always say that bread we cannot eat, right, because it contains fungi, and here you are talking that mushroom is a fungi and we are eating them. So keep one thing in mind, that some of the fungi can be edible also, that can be eat. Okay, and some they are very dangerous, they are disease causing, and some they are also beneficial, that they are used in medicine preparations. Okay, remember these things. So these are saprophytes. Okay, so like this you all will appear if you keep the bread in the with the moist. These are the mushrooms. Okay, so these are called as what? They are called as fungi. Okay, so they have something which is very different kind of mode of nutrition. They derive nutrition from dead and decay organism. From dead means already dead, which is not living, and decay means the substance, the thing, that undergo decomposition. You all know what is decomposition, right? So the substance which undergoing decomposition, that is called as decay. Okay, the from dead and decay plant they derive nutrition, not from plant, it can be anything. Okay, so they are called as sapro they call as saprophytic mode of nutrition. Okay, wherein they obtain the nutrition from dead and decay organisms. So that is called as saprophytic nutrition, and they are called as saprops. Okay, sorry, they are called as saprotrophs. What they are called as saprotrophs. Understood? So yeah, they have something which is very different. Fungi, what they kind of they obtain nutrient from dead and decay, so that is called as saprophytic nutrition. Then okay, so these are the fungal spore in this hot summer season and all. This they the we normally face the issue that the food gets spoiled early, correct? That is because of this fungi. These fungi, the spores of this fungi, they are always present in the air. Okay, when they get a substrate, that is when they see something which is food or anything, they settle on it, and if they get a warm environment with little water and high temperature, then they will get germinate there and there itself. Understood? Okay, then the second that is after saprops, that is a symbiosis. So what is symbiosis? Symbiosis is the condition in which both organisms are beneficial for each other. Like for example that is I'm giving here, there are one or more than two organisms, two or more than that organisms can be together and both are helping each other. Okay, they provide like for example lichens. Okay, lichens is an example of this. What is lichens? um, Wait, before that, no, here in the plants, there is one form of plants which is called as algae. You all know what is algae. You all must have seen a small greeny patches which is found in the ponds or any river bodies. Okay, small green ponds, or in rainy season in your near your house, on which we used to sleep and fall down, the sleepy thing which is formed, the slimy, correct, they are called as algae. So how they look, they are also green in color. That means what, they also contain chlorophyll in them. Okay, and they also produce they also synthesize food photosynthetically. Okay, so they are also autotrophs. Like plants, they can also produce their own food. Algae, understood? So here let's see, in lichens, it's a combination, it's the association of those algae and fungi. So here algae can produce their own food, correct, own food. But what about fungi? They depend on other that decay, so they cannot produce their own food, cannot produce, correct. So what will happen, here both are living together in condition of lichens. Okay, that's why they are called as symbiosis. So here both lives together. Algae will provide nutrition to the fungi and fungi will in return provide shelter to the algae. Okay, algae will provide the fungi that it will produced by photosynthesis, it will keep for itself, and it will also give some of the food to fungi. And what fungi will do, it will provide shelter as in the place to live. Okay, algae will get a place to live. So this is called as a symbiosis association. Okay, then yeah, how nutrients are replenished in the soil, that we will study from NCERT directly. Okay, so how nutrients are replenished in the soil. Okay, so we know that nitrogen is present in the atmosphere, but plants cannot absorb it directly, correct. It needs to be converted into soluble form. After that only the plants can absorb it. So you all have seen, like farmers or your mother father, when they grow something in the yard, in the garden, what they do, they add some fertilizer. That fertilizer contains some nutrients, like for example nitrogen, phosphorus. Okay, so what plant do, they get those ready-made things. Okay, plant will directly absorb it and it will be remain healthy completely, correct. But there is one way through which we can provide a nitrogen to the plants, that is through there is one bacteria which is called as rhizobium. Okay, that bacteria, what it can do, it can take the atmospheric nitrogen and it can convert it into the nitrogen in the soluble form through that which the plant can absorb. Okay, so what they do, they take the atmospheric nitrogen, they convert it into soluble forms and they release it into the soil. Okay, after that the plants can take this nitrogen, absorb it, correct. So what are those bacterium, those are the rhizobium. But what happens, these rhizobium, they cannot synthesize food on their own. So for that they have to live in the close association with the roots of gram, peas, okay, cereal crops, in the roots in the root nodules of these plants. Okay, so from there they will get a benefits, like for example how we have seen here in the symbiosis that both are getting benefited. So likewise here also, you know, the rhizobium get benefits from the plant. Okay, so here also the plant will provide food to rhizobium, and rhizobium will provide what? Here it won't provide a shelter, it will provide nitrogen which plant requires. Okay, plant will provide food to the rhizobium, rhizobium will provide soluble nitrogen to the plants, which is beneficial, correct? So likewise both live in symbiotic association with each other, the rhizobium and the plants, correct? So yes, done. So in today's class what we have learned about this that how carbon dioxide, water and minerals which is required for the synthesizing of food in plants, how they get absorbed it. Okay, through carbon dioxide is absorbed through spores, which are tiny pores which are present on the surface of the leaves, that is called as stomata, whereas the minerals and water is being transported from roots through vessels to the leaves. Okay, then why only leaves can do photosynthesis and why not other parts? Because leaf contain a chlorophyll, and the cells with chlorophyll they absorb the sunlight, then with the help of carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight, the leaf cells produces carbohydrate and oxygen, okay, which is being taken up by all the living organisms. Then other modes of nutrition, before that we have seen about algae, which are slimy green patches which are found in the pond or stagnant water. Okay, they are also photosynthetic. And other nutrition, in that heterotrophic mode of nutrition, in that we have seen about cuscuta plant, then we have seen about picha plant, okay, which likes to eat insects, and that is called as insectivorous plants. Then saprotrophs, under that the fungi we have studied, and the mode of nutrition is they derive nutrition from dead and decaying organisms. And the nutrition, that mode of nutrition is called as saprotrophic nutrition. And mode of nutrition that is called as saprotrophs. Okay, yes. Then we have seen how nutrients are replenished in the soil, that is done with the help of rhizobium bacteria. And before that we have also seen about what is symbiosis, that is the association where more than two organisms can live together, and they are beneficial to each other. Okay, for example we have seen about lichens and also about rhizobium and the root nodules. Okay, so thank you so much students for listening to my video. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, do share with your friends, and thank you.